Hello everyone. So I had a few pretty screwed up interactions with Patrick John Coleman, a self-titled psychic, shaman, and spiritual medium, and his pretty cool but also pretty fucked up boyfriend, Vitaly. You may remember these two if you saw episode 5 of Into the Rabbit Hole with Ronaldo, and to be completely 100% honest, this was one of the weirdest fucking things I've ever really had to involve myself with on the internet. And I've fucking been around. It had all started off pretty innocently enough. I had arranged to interview him on Skype by contacting him through his Twitter account, and seeing as how he had seen episode 5 and thought it was funny, I thought maybe he would have a sense of humor and would be a weird and entertaining person to have on my channel. And so the interview begins later that evening, and we get through introductions, and immediately he wants to discuss why Michael, Omni-Eris, is so angry and hateful, referring to the videos Omni had made about him. I was kind of taken back by this, because I thought we were just going to discuss his kookiness and whatnot like usual, and any kind of shit like that would come later, but whatever. So this then turned into a conversation about Pat and Vitaly's unusual relationship and questionable beginnings, and then on to more tinfoily matters about, being a shaman and their beliefs and, that kind of shit. In the middle of it, Pat almost fucking falls asleep in his chair when Vitaly is speaking, and then walks off to leave him completely alone with me. And so I ask Vitaly if he's planning to come back, and he tells me that Patrick's just taking a break and he's a little tired. So we continue the conversation without him a little while longer, and then he informs me that Patrick has fallen asleep. So I try to bring the conversation to a close because I thought it would be awkward to continue an interview with Patrick without Patrick, but Vitaly kept asking me if I had more questions for him, as though he didn't want to hang up. So we talk a little more, and I thought it would be fun to bring on Omni-Eris for like a post-interview chat with Vitaly kind of thing. And we talked for a little while longer about a whole bunch of different stuff, and it really gave me some good insight into how cool Vitaly is, even though he is currently misguided and being made more of a retard than he already is by Patrick. But, he is a good kid. So after a while we end the call, and immediately after, Vitaly messaged me asking me to cut out the entire part where it was just him speaking without Patrick from the video, as though he was very worried that Patrick would disapprove of what he would say without his shamanistic supervision or something. So the next day, once Pat had arisen from his coma, he immediately messaged me on Skype asking if I had already posted the video, and I told him no, that I had been working and hadn't had a chance. He then asked me to cut out the part with Vitaly as well. And so when I asked why, he said it was because it was irrelevant and not on topic. Even though it very much so was on topic, the conversation just didn't include him, so he didn't like it, I guess. So I gave him an ultimatum, so to speak. I told him that we either have to reshoot the entire fucking interview all over again that very night and start over from scratch, but this time with Omni-Eris on the call since he had so much to ask about him and say about him, or I would just post the entire fucking video unaltered, because legally it wasn't like this whole recording was unsolicited, and we started the call knowing it was being recorded by me, and Patrick walked the fuck off in the middle of it and went to sleep without saying, "Hey, I'm tired, do you mind if we stop and do this again some other time?" And Vitaly, who also knew that we were recording this, continued the interview without Patrick, and he asked me if I had any more questions for him and not Patrick. So I very well could do whatever the fuck I want with this fucking video. But since he indulged me on the second discussion including Omni-Eris, I will be a man of my word, and I will not personally post that part of the video with just Vitaly. However, I just want everyone to know that I think the reason Patrick doesn't want Vitaly to speak to anyone without Patrick's supervision is because whoever he speaks to just might undo all the mind-fucking and brainwashing that Patrick is currently doing to him. Anyways, the following is the first discussion I had with him and Vitaly, just up to the part where Patrick takes a break and never returns to save Vitaly from the ideas and concepts that might actually be of value to him. And I shall post the threesome I had with Patrick and Omni-Eris soon after this is uploaded, so stick around for that and enjoy the part of this interview that Patrick will allow you to see.
Okay, so you introduce me, and I'll say hello and all that kind of stuff. So, this is not the first time I've been interviewed. So,
I'm kind of new to this whole situation. I'm just
bring your A game, because I'm bringing mine, motherfucker. So, drink your beer and bring your A game, because I'm on my A game.
I got a feeling I'm gonna need another one with you, buddy.
I know.
Let me open another one. So, hello everybody, my name is Mr. Mental Inertia, aka Ronaldo. I am speaking to Patrick John Coleman. Patrick John Coleman is a YouTuber, he's a shaman, he's a psychic, a mystic, a medium, various different things. He's written books apparently as well. And he has
apparently.
I didn't read them. I from what I hear, you write books.
So, well, okay.
I mean, hey, come on, give me a break.
I know.
We're just getting to know each other, buddy. But
I know. I think you're wonderful. I think you're wonderful so far. Nice
Nice to meet you. My name is. You can call me Ronaldo, and
you can call me Patrick John Coleman. Cheers. I'm drinking PBR. You're drinking
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon? Oh, I used to love Blue Moon.
Yeah.
Blue Moon has too many calories. It's the most high-calorie beer that you can drink.
I could probably use a calorie or two. You never know.
Yeah, but I mean, Blue Moon is the most... I used to drink Blue Moon, but it's the most high-calorie beer you can drink, so...
It's tasty as fuck. But,
yeah, it's really tasty as fuck, but... Okay, so let's get started. What are we at?
Well, don't you have another cast member to introduce?
Vitaly! Oh, he's like, okay. He draws diagrams of chakras and stuff.
That's cool. As long as he's not drawing dicks on your wall or anything, I think he'll be okay.
No, not yet. We've not got that to that point in our relationship. So let's dispel some myths that Omni-Eris has created.
Oh, okay. You just want to jump straight to that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you go ahead. You got something to say about it.
Let's dispel some myths. Okay. Okay, Vitaly.
That's Vitaly, everybody. Say hello. Vitaly, my name's Mr. Mental Inertia. You can call me Ronaldo. It's very nice to meet you and good to have you guys tonight.
I love your name.
Thank you.
So, I'm going to ask Vitaly some questions, and of course, he's going to say I'm prompting him, but I'm just asking him questions, because I know how all narcissists work. So, did I force you to be my boyfriend?
No. It was the choice that I made.
Explain the choice. Explain what happened to you.
Well, he was helping me. He was my last resort. Because
pause right there.
Okay.
When you say the word last resort, I believe that's a point of contention. When you say last resort, what do you mean by that? Because that makes Patrick sound like, well, I had nowhere else to go, and I didn't really want to be with Patrick, but now I'm with Patrick because I didn't have anywhere else to go. I think that's his main point of contention when you say those words right there. Continue.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I came out as... Wait, shit. We should close the windows. Trains.
Alright.
Yeah, that sound made it kind of angrier a little bit. I really dig your skull necklaces, though. I just really... those aren't anal beads. Those are actually cool.
Thank you.
Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, last resort. Well, I came out as a transvestite back at home, where I came from, And I also realized all of my relationships were very emotionally abusive. And so, but I happened to know him, and I called him for help because I didn't know what to do. And I had several sessions with him. And then he just offered me to come live here. And so I was scared for my life because of my family members being like really Christian and everything like that, really abusive, and all my friends left me. And so I came over here, and originally it was just for help and to start a fresh life, but then it grew into a relationship, and so uh, now we are in a relationship.
Can I ask a question about being in a relationship with him? You just kind of bridge it into that, like, well, I was here and now we're in a relationship. From what I understand in the video that I saw before, Patrick, you can correct me at any moment if I'm wrong, but there was a moment where you said that you were in your underwear, apparently, Patrick, and you put your arm around him, and apparently there was a situation where you suggested, or why aren't we boyfriends, or something like that, something along those lines.
Well, he was throwing up resistance to love.
Resistance now. Resistance.
He's very emotionally abused. So I respect his emotional abuse, and I understand his emotional abuse, and I let him process through his emotional abuse. So when he doesn't want to talk to me, he doesn't have to talk to me. When, like, there's times when he's in the bathroom chanting, and he's like, Patrick, leave me alone. I leave him alone. Like, he's not my slave, you know, like, he's not, like, I let him do what he wants to do. But, I said, I think this,
Sorry.
I think this would work out better with us being boyfriends rather than, roommates or whatever. And he agreed.
No, okay, I'm with you on that, but you were in your underwear at the time, right? Now,
Well, I sleep in
that
my
sounds
underwear.
crazy. I know you guys are roommates, whatever, but you happen to be in your underwear, and just how the context of the conversation went in that video. The only thing I know about is in that video. You said you were in your underwear. You put your arm around them, or you're on a couch or something. I hate to really get uncomfortable, but we're starting off with this. I wasn't expecting this, so. But since we're here, like, and he's resisting you while you're in your underwear, and that's the language that was used.
Oh.
I mean, do you see what I mean? You do now realize the frame of reference that I'm going off of. It is a little kooky when you hear it like that. And I don't know if you guys. I mean, you have you saying it's a last resort situation. He's there in his underwear and resisting love, and come on, we'll be boyfriends. And you sound like you were in a destitute situation. You had nowhere else to go, so it's kind of like, okay, I give in. I'll be your boyfriend. Just
No,
you know,
you have other places to go. You have other places to go.
Okay, that situation. We sleep in the same bed, and so one day we were laying in bed next to each other, and I was in a mood where I didn't want to talk to anyone, but he was. So we're both in a bad mood. I didn't want to talk to anyone, and then he wanted someone to be affectionate with, but I didn't want to talk to anyone, and so then that kind of I don't know how to explain it. He
when you say affectionate, did you mean like in a loving way, like let's cuddle, or was he trying to?
He wanted someone to help him feel better, but I didn't want to talk to anyone, and so.
Okay. How to help him feel better? How?
Just affection, like care.
Like caring, cuddling, talking.
Yeah,
That kind of
cuddling,
thing.
talking, stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
But I didn't want to talk to anyone, and so he got really upset, and
Hold on, we're kind of freezing up here.
After that, we kind of decided where to.
Shit. Okay, I'll have to edit this out. Hello? Hello?
You back?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, our call got dropped.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Did
my
the
internet's
recording
being
get...
really weird. No, my recording's still going, but like it froze up in the middle of Vitaly speaking, so it kind of cut that out.
Okay, so we just...
I lost your video though. If you can turn back on your camera.
Okay, let me turn back on my camera.
Oh, there you go.
Plus, it's really warm in here.
There, can you see me? Oh yeah, it's really what. It's getting hot in here.
Come on.
So take off all your
The
clothes.
dishes you're wearing though, like you're wearing the gloves, the hat. You look like an ISIS member, and you're about to decapitate Vitaly.
We live in Chicago. It's cold here,
Yeah,
so
I know.
we have open windows because
I believe
Vitaly doesn't like me smoking, so I open the windows.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna say you're not the first guy that came on dressed like you're ready for martial arts or undercover operation or something.
CIA operation, secret ops.
Yeah, like this James Jackson guy I spoke to, he was dressed similar to you, so that's.
So let's talk about Omni-Eris's hatred towards.
Right.
Let's talk about his hatred towards me.
Well, do you have
where does that
questions?
Where does that come from?
As far as where that comes from, I believe it stems from the situation you two have. He has his own theories. I can't speak for him, but if you like, I can play that video of his, and you could.
No, I've seen them, and they're so sad. He's so full of self-hatred. It is so sad. And many of my followers have seen those videos, and they're like, "Oh my God, this guy hates himself so much."
Like, how did they mean self-hatred? I don't.
Well, we're awakened. When you're awakened, you see the world much differently. You see the world for what it is.
That makes you sound really arrogant, though.
But I mean, it only makes me sound arrogant to people who are not awakened.
What does that mean to be? How do you mean awakened? Because I mean, like the self-hatred. Like, from what I understand, like you said something to him on Twitter or somewhere saying, like, what happened to gays supporting gays, and it's almost like just because he's gay, he's supposed to condone every behavior a gay man has. Or something.
No, I didn't say that. I was just like, I was engaging him in a dialogue of, I'm an old gay. I'm 43 years old. And gays supported gays, no matter what they did. And they didn't rip them apart, and they didn't rip them to shreds. And, he's not watched, he doesn't know anything about my story. He doesn't know anything about my near-death experience. He doesn't know anything about my visit to the afterlife. He doesn't know how I was reborn as a shaman. He doesn't know anything about that. He just watches one video and then makes a comment on it. So he doesn't know anything about that.
The thing is, I think with Omni is like all that stuff about you being a shaman and all this mystical stuff is kind of a side issue that kind of brought the interest to your doorstep, but the situation between you and Vitaly, and like I'm nobody to speak on anybody's relationship. I don't have the insight, but him as a gay male, he believes that you, for lack of a better term, and I don't speak for Omni, but for lack of a better term, you took advantage of the situation.
Explain, Vitaly. Explain in your own words.
You're not squeezing his nuts under that camera, are you?
No, I'm not. My hands are
making him say whatever. No. You know, one thing I can bring up though, I notice whenever Vitaly goes to speak, you close your eyes or something, like
Because I'm channeling spirit.
into him or into you. Yeah.
And
What?
yeah, I'm just channeling spirit.
He's connecting with whatever he's connecting with.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So speak to Tally about
yeah.
our relationships.
I think it's
like
when it gets harder you connect with.
speak about our relationship and also.
Okay.
Can I also ask one question before you begin on your subject? How old are you?
21.
21. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. I see where people are saying that because, in a sense, we're both taking advantage of each other on one side of it. Because I needed a place to stay, and then he's teaching me things. He's letting me get on my feet again and stuff. But he also wants to have a relationship with someone as well. So I'm using him in the survival manner, and then he's using me because I'm younger, but we also still like each other's personality at the same time. So
does that not
kind of
sound very not like a normal loving relationship though? That you're like okay, you guys like each other's personality. Okay, that's one thing. That's not love though. And I'm nobody to speak on it. I don't know you guys from Adam really, but it's just that doesn't sound to me like okay, I'm in this situation and it's mutually beneficial, but do you see what I'm getting at here? Like, I
mean, it's I get very father-like with him because I'm old enough to be his father. I get very father-like with him, and he did not have a good upbringing, so I felt the need to give him knowledge and wisdom that his father was not able to provide. And here's a secret that you guys don't know. We have not had sex. We have not had sex. So, we're waiting.
That's, that's kind of almost more information than I asked for, but that does, since we're on the subject, okay. I really don't know how to respond to that. Give me a second here.
I mean, we have decided to wait till the right time for us to have sex. And, we may never have sex, but our relationship is based on spirituality and spiritual growth rather than sexuality. So
okay, I see what you mean there. So
it's not like we felt each other's boners before. I mean, we have. But
right.
we have not gone balls deep in each other. So
okay, yeah. It's based on survival, but it's mainly spiritual.
Hold on, can you give me a second to recover, man? That's funny shit. Like this guy right there, Patrick. He's a funny guy.
I know. I went to Second City for comedy, so.
You're a funny guy. I don't even know if it's accidental or what, but keep it up, buddy. And that's another thing. I don't think you're a guy that I'm hating or anything like that. I just, I'm laughing almost with you in a way.
But we don't do drugs or smoke weed at all. That's the funny thing about it. We don't do drugs or smoke weed.
We'll have to discuss that point later because I got questions about that. But Vitaly, as you were gonna say, go ahead. I'm sorry, we all kind of yeah.
Oh, what part?
You were talking about how it's a survival mechanism and so on.
Oh, I'd say it's for me it's mainly it's someone that's helping me survive and learn how to survive, and then the other half is very spiritual in nature, and then those are the two main parts. But then there's also the affection and compassion and love and stuff. But I'd say that's more the tertiary or third in place. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of mixed.
We love each other, and that's all.
Oh.
Well, that's not all.
Well, I mean, like, it's good that you guys, if it is genuine love, that's good. But, you know, it's just, the way it was presented, it does come across very one-sided. Do you see what it's hard to explain?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't come across to me as one-sided. Explain Vitaly more about how, like.
I guess what he. I feel like it is reciprocal, but he views it much more bubbly, or I don't know how to explain it. But then I feel, I don't know, I'm more of a detached kind of person, and like in my mind, so I don't express it as much, but he does. But it still goes back and forth.
Do you guys plan to like get married or anything, or is there any of that on the horizon?
No, it's just it's not. We're only dating for a little bit, so it didn't.
So it doesn't.
We'll probably move on from each other because I am much older than him, and he needs to be with a guy his own age.
Well, I don't want to, get to that kind of deep of a subject, and all. I don't want to upset you, but you know what I mean. It's like at least you do have the insight to kind of realize that it's not.
I needed him to get me through this part in my life, and he's probably not going to be around for very long.
I need him just as much, though. Yeah.
That's very sweet. But can I ask a question about now the drug situation and the shamanism? Okay, let's get on to that, because that's what I thought we were going to start off with, but you just kind of hit me with a shotgun barrel full of crazy. So, but with the shamanism, now you say you don't use any drugs whatsoever, right?
Right. Except PBR.
Well, cheers, man. But
yeah,
the thing is about that is shamans use the fuck out of some drugs, man, like hallucinogens. And in your video that I specifically responded to, you said I drink, I smoke, and then you stop, like you were gonna say you do something else. And it's fully your right to not disclose, but shamans don't just drink PBR and go on vision quests.
Well, I've engaged in recreational drugs, but I don't use them regularly. I'm not addicted to recreational drugs. Yeah.
Oh, he's like alcohol and cigarettes type of shaman. Like most of them are like do like LSD or mushrooms or pot and stuff, but he's alcohol and cigarettes.
And see, as far as the shamanism, that's how I understood it, is like you take some shrooms or you take some, ayahuasca, different types of things like that. You meditate.
But to me, that's a fake. To me, that's a fake type of shamanism. That's not facing reality. That's going into a dream world. Shamanism.
Is it not just a shortcut to the dream world? Is it not what realm is that?
Shamanism to me is facing reality. Shamanism is facing reality as it is and learning to master that reality by learning to manipulate that reality by using the spirits to deliver the things that you want.
Okay, I hate to interrupt, but spirits now. I'm an atheist, okay? Well, more of an agnostic, but yeah, spirits. What do you call a spirit? Because that could just be a voice in your head. That could be
a spirit. A spirit is a spirit, or an interdimensional being, or an alien, or any non-physical 3D reality being. And a lot of them are on your side. A lot of them want you to...
I can say my opinion.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, the way I view spirits is... Well, I view everything as being like electromagnetic conscious vibration. So I view spirits as sort of like the archetypes of creation of the physical world, but they're vibrating at a frequency that's non-physical, like you could say like the quantum plane or whatever. And it's more of like the template reality, and so they're kind of the archetypes that end up vibrating here at a lower octave. So, and then
Now, when you say vibrating, what the fuck is vibrating? That's the thing that I never get with the New Age thing. Is like vibrating. Your chakras are vibrating. You got a thing in your groin, a chakra in your groin that's vibrating.
Okay, all right. Let me explain. Let me
What's
take the
making it vibrate?
let me do this one.
Something has to make it vibrate, and what's
Let me
making
take
it
the
vibrate?
gloves off. Let me take the gloves
Science.
off.
Go
Okay.
for it. Science is making.
You are
I gotta take my shamanistic medicine for this.
Oh, bong toke.
Oh, I'm like obsessed about this. So like, this
Okay.
is like my.
Go for it.
So you are a vibrational being. You are full of holes. You are atoms and molecules. You are full of holes. You don't exist. You're full of holes.
Let me see it. Let me see
Don't
it.
put anything in my holes, please.
Okay.
You're not my type.
View it this way. View it this way. So your body's made out of cells that are made out of water, and you've got nerves going through them. So the cells are made out of molecules, and then there's electricity running through the nerves, which is a frequency, and so your body's basically like running on electricity, which could be viewed as the soul being the electricity running through your body. So that's your...
So your
like,
brain is a receiving mechanism for your consciousness. So your consciousness creates your body. So you are
the
like
electricity.
you're like if you look at an atom, and scientists have experimented with this. When one scientist looks at an atom, it looks a certain way, but when another scientist looks at an atom, it appears to be another way. So, how you observe reality is dependent upon who you are and how you think about reality. Like, look around your room. You're creating that reality. That's your creation. You're creating your reality with your thoughts and feelings and emotions. This is your creation.
I do agree with that. I mean, it's like, who is the master that makes the grass green? The grass isn't already green. Your brain made it green because they're fucking looking at it, and that's how it interprets it.
You are so powerful as a multidimensional being crammed into a human body.
Let me do this one.
Okay.
They're gonna think you're crazy. Okay. Okay, because I used to...
They already think I'm
Okay,
crazy,
I used to be
it's like-
agnostic, so it took me a lot to convince myself to see it this way. Okay, so like who? So are you saying who's the consciousness? Like, is it you or?
Well, like when it's an old proverb from what I understand. Somebody asked their student, "Who is the master that makes the grass green?"
Say it's science and natural laws, like mathematics. That determines how the vibration occurs. But the way I view it is it's all consciousness. And so the consciousness of the rock is less complicated than your body but it runs on the same like laws basically.
Well,
So
what I was trying to say, the answer to that is, in a way, is like, it's in the eye of the beholder. Like, a dog is going to be colorblind, so it's going to see it a certain way. Or, like, my brain's going to interpret these certain chemicals coming into my eyeballs and all this other stuff. And it's going to...
Because you're a vibrational being.
And it's all perception. You don't necessarily got to say vibration.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I like me as a person in my upbringing and all this other stuff, I view you and the things you're saying, and some of that just happens to sound crazy because my context is different than your context. Your crazy shit sounds normal to you. My crazy shit sounds normal to me. What I might say sounds crazy to you. You see what I'm saying?
And your shit does sound crazy.
It probably does.
Okay.
It sounds like you're insane.
To a lot of people, I don't doubt that.
But honestly, something.
Okay.
So the brain is built to interpret your senses, and so basically, like, you've got thoughts going on here, and the belief system you have determines how you interpret what you're observing. So everyone's perception is different, but it's all vibration. But um, but yeah, your thoughts are the way you observe what you're smelling, seeing, hearing, stuff like that. So yeah.
You create your own reality.
Well, you determine
You
how you
create
perceive
your own
it.
reality.
You determine how you perceive it. And
I
that
mean, like,
turns...
this is all philosophy I've heard before. I mean, I've listened to a lot of this stuff. It's like
Yeah.
Alan Watts, Indian gurus of various stripes. So I mean, this is New Age stuff that I'm very familiar with. But
Well, the New Age is over. Welcome to the New Age.
it's just this language, though, is word salad. A lot of it doesn't actually mean shit.
Can I ask you a question? Are you awakened?
Depends on what you mean.
No,
Are you awakened?
He's a logical person.
Are you awakened?
Depends on what you mean. By
Awakened. Do you realize?
That's an open-ended fucking question, man.
Do you realize that you're a divine being in a human body having a human experience?
Define how? What? Define divine.
Divine. You're an eternal consciousness.
That I'm fucking special?
Yeah, you're fucking special. You're fucking worthy. You're fucking special. You're an eternal consciousness that never ceases to be.
I'm divine in a special way, as in the cosmos started off here and ended in this way, and that's eternal.
It never started and it never began.
Whatever, cycles, craziness, blah blah blah, whatever. I understand that, but what I'm saying is, whatever began or whatever didn't begin, here I am, and it's the culmination of all kind of crazy shit, and here I am. But so is everything else. And so, by default, everything's divine. That doesn't make it special. See what I mean?
Yes, it does. You're very special. Your worthiness is special. What you do is special. The life that you have carved out for yourself is wonderful. And when you die, you will figure all this out. I've had a near-death experience, so I know all this stuff.
I'm just looking at things from like a macro perspective. I believe when I die, nothing special is going to happen.
When you die, you will like go to this magical wonderland. It is so awesome. I've been to the outside.
The way I view it is, you die and then you reincarnate as another human. You repeat it. So that's how you evolve. Like, so it's like each lifetime you're slightly different from the last one, but it's a different body. But yeah, that's how you evolve over time. So. It's like, depending on what you do this time, if you did a good time, if you learned a lot and you're really smart.
Learned your lessons.
If you're really smart, then you'll have a better off chance next time around. And if you did it bad at surviving, then you'll reincarnate and you won't be as good as the rest of them. And so the point is to evolve, and it works in a cycle. So
and then if you kill yourself, you shift into a parallel dimension.
Can I just kind of give like my perspective on what you're saying there? Vitaly is like, when you talk about reincarnation, I don't believe that the same thing as you, but I believe when I die, my body will decompose. It will be consumed by the earth, and it will become nutrients. Bugs will come and feast. They'll go forth and shit on other things and eat other things, whatever. Plants will grow out of it, and somehow my molecules will still continue to go on. In a sense, I am eternal in that sense, in a very biochemical kind of way. But my consciousness has to go somewhere. Maybe it degrades into the sands as well and gets eaten up by whatever and becomes whatever. See what I mean?
But you are an eternal consciousness.
But I don't believe I'm gonna die and come back as a squirrel, or I'm gonna die and I'm gonna come back.
No. You never began and you will never end.
Well, I have a different perspective on it. I think you'll come back as a human. similar to your characteristics of your last life. And then
He's psychic, by the way. He's
well,
psychic.
not I wouldn't say psychic, but intuitive.
Oh my God, you're so fucking psychic.
Well,
You know what I'm gonna say before I'm gonna say it.
Do you believe in like these past life hypnotist transgressions? You can bring out like
Yeah, but you have to be in a
experiences.
really deep trance to where you can't even feel your body or anything. Like,
Because
that's really hard.
time happens all at once. Time happens like this.
But do you know that experience, as well as other UFO types that try to have past alien memory, whatever, fucking probe in my bunghole stuff?
But all this that we're going through has already happened.
But let me say this stuff about what I'm saying, like the alien encounters with probes in my butt memories and this memories of past lives that these hypnotists pretend to bring out. It is post-hypnotic suggestion. That's a proven fucking thing, that you can actually suggest to someone and you give them leading questions. I could actually sit here right now, and if you're fucked up enough, I could ask you questions to lead you to answer some screwed up stuff to say whatever the hell I want.
Okay, so go ahead, do it.
Well, I can't hypnotize you. I'm not.
Honestly.
But it's
all right.
Okay, so
of bullshit
stuff
you can look up online. Actually, but go ahead. Sorry. Hold on.
Well, like past life stuff, the way that works is, okay, you've got your subconscious, but then you've got like your subconscious of your past lives that you can access. So, like, depending on what you did before, you'll have those characteristics again, and that's your subconscious. You can view it that way. It's like it's your energy, the characteristic of it, based on what it's done before. And so, if you go into a trance to where you can't feel your body, you have to go into a point where you cannot even feel your body, and then you go off into the fourth dimension, and so, which is non-physical, and then you can access deep childhood memories or past lives, and it's basically just like, it's kind of subconscious.
That's a form of self-hypnosis. You can actually hypnotize yourself as well. That's actually, believe it or not, Ronaldo has looked a little bit into magic. And that's a form of self-hypnosis. You can actually, even going into it as an atheist and all this other stuff, you can convince your brain to be wired to believe in certain things and make it chemically work in your brain. But even though it's not like magic spells in a typical sense, but like it's self-hypnosis. People can do that to themselves too. Like when they meditate on positivity and all of a sudden they start living a happier life, that's because they lulled their brain to that level.
It's law of attraction. Law of attraction, which is
okay.
In a way.
Those are two separate things, though, because I've experienced going into trances before many times, and it is nothing you can. It's not anything people. I mean, it's not a hypnosis. It's not just thoughts. It's not a dream. It's a whole different plane of existence where, like, it's very difficult to explain, but it's just it's a more malleable existence. Where this is more solid. It's more of it's feelings and thoughts, and it's much more complex, and it's like it sure as hell is not a dream. It's not here. I have to go into a state where I literally leave my body, like, to where because the body is a denser vibration than the consciousness itself, so it's like I have to stop feeling the body, then I become aware of the other part, and the thing is, you have to experience it, because then you know it's not the other things, because it's distinctly different. Like,
let me just say right there what you said. You have to experience it, but I've experienced stuff as well. I've been around, so to speak, and I've dabbled in different things, and I've had trances once in a while, and it's like, I can't call it anything more than an experience, though, because I don't have anything evidential to prove to me otherwise that it wasn't just something fun my brain did. And the
Okay.
brain's a powerful thing that can do magnificent things, and it is amazing, but it doesn't have to be a supernatural thing, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, I guess the way you know if it was legitimate is when you get synchronicities in your daily life as a result, or like with it, um, to where it's consistent on a daily basis, and like really consistent, but it's hard to show it to someone else.
Can I kind of say about that though as
So,
well?
yeah.
When you notice synchronicities and all this other stuff, I have a video about gang stalkers and targeted individuals, and they have a similar thing, and this is a big panoptic type of phenomenon called patternicity, where if a person sees a certain thing that their brain happens to be looking for, like you could play the game in the car with your buddies, like when you're going down the road, hey everybody, let's look for white cars. Everybody that's in a white car is a bad guy or something. You'll see a bunch of white cars, all of a sudden your brain will start looking for those kind of things. Or like when you buy a new car, and it's like, I'm driving down the road, I have this new 1916 or 2016 whatever car, and I don't see that many cars like that. I bought this car, it's original. I don't see very many cars with it, but once you bought that car and you know what that car looks like in your brain and you're wired to see that car, you see it everywhere. And it's just one of those things where patterns occur, and when your brain is looking for these patterns, they happen.